webinar today is focusing on our core use case at VOZIQ, which is reducing subscriber churn. And today we'll talk about how that is possible by leveraging artificial intelligence to be able to reduce your subscriber churn 2 times faster than what you would normally be able to do with a concentrated effort. To get into introductions, we have 2 of us here today that will be presenting to you. My name is Brandon Savage. Again, I am the head of solution enablement here at VOZIQ AI. My background is 20 plus years as a customer experience and operations leader. Most of that time was in the electronic security industry, which is one of the verticals, many verticals that we serve. I'll give the opportunity for our second panelist, Dr. Vasu Akula, to introduce himself today.
All right. Thank you, Brandon. Love the title today. 2x faster. Looking forward to this. Hello, everyone. My name is Vasu Akula. I'm one of the co-founders of the business and also lead the data science team. For the last 25 years, myself, spent a lot of time visiting a lot of contact centers, using data as an advantage to bring insights to contact center and also the rest of the customer contact channels to help businesses like yours drive substantial revenue. And later today, we're going to be celebrating a Impact Award. I'll give you a lot of details about it. We are particularly proud of the way we create millions of dollars in value using AI as an advantage. Brandon?
Terrific. Thank you, Vasu. So as we look at how VOZIQ AI started, our first solution focused in the middle here of being able to keep customers that you have within your organization and to be able to increase that customer lifetime of those customers. Over time, we've expanded into multiple other use cases, including getting new customers and also growing your existing recurring revenue share of wallet of your customer base. Our focus today is going to be right at that center of this map and looking at predictive retention and how we can help companies like yours be able to leverage artificial intelligence and machine learning to reduce customer churn. We have had the opportunity to be able to leverage this use case with multiple other companies in a variety of industries, as shown here. And our solution gives you the ability to increase your customer lifetime value by millions of dollars. If you're skeptical of that, we're happy to meet with you and walk through what your economics are of your business, how many customers you have, what is your average recurring revenue per customer, what your average annual attrition rate is. And we can walk you through how reducing that attrition rate by 100, 200 basis points, how much customer lifetime value that can really drive. And most of our partners are surprised of the compounding effect of that particular use case. In addition to the success stories that you see here from our existing partners, we are seeing recognition from outside, and I'll turn the time over to Vasu to explain our most recent award that we have received.
Awesome. Let's go to the next slide, Brandon. So I have this award. I just received this one yesterday. It was announced last week, but I just received this one yesterday. It's kind of the crystal one, right? So it's probably difficult to read, but I'll try to pause a little bit here. So it starts with the impact at the top, and I'll explain why we are super proud of it. And then the best use of AI in improving customer experience, right? So I think keeping this representing our team to win this award on our team's behalf, on our customers' behalf, is making us think about all the investments that we have made over the years. And I think 3 things are standing out for us as we kind of pause and reflect a little bit, what led to what, and how, we are winning awards like these, right? And I'll give you these 3 reasons, right? So the first one, we are super proud of this particular award. We won many other awards, but this one is special. The reason for that is this is a impact award, and that is key. This is not an implementation award. This is not a concept award. This is not, there's a lot of talk about AI these days. And I was with some of our customers 2 weeks ago. And one of the story they told us, senior leaders, right? We're talking with CFO and CEO and COO and CMO. And one of the things, and when I shared this, award news with them, the first thing that they mentioned is it absolutely makes sense because we have also been talking with, bankers and PE companies and all of that. And what they are telling us is the bankers are saying, there's a lot of talk about AI. You, meaning our customer, is the one who's actually demonstrating measurable results on a significant scale, hundreds of millions. Everyone else is talking about AI. So, you are already special in figuring out not just, kind of AI use cases, but how to implement those use cases, operationalize those use cases, and, drive revenue. So, impact, clearly we are focused on it. Our customers are seeing, and our customers' bankers are actually complementing all of that. So that's a standout item, right? And the second thing that we are also connecting the dots and why we are proud of this is the name of the award itself. It's the best use of AI in customer experience management. Now let's pause for a minute and think about, what does it mean? It's the best use of AI in customer experience management, right? So that requires deep understanding of every single customer. If you have 100,000 customers, it requires deep understanding of every single customer, not treating all the customers roughly the same. These are new customers, these are 5-year-old customers, these are 10-year-old customers, but actually, we go deep into a cohort of one, right? And what does customer one need and what does customer 100,000 need in terms of their affordability, their needs and wants? And that's what the AI Brandon was showing on the previous slide is capable of doing. It's scoring every single customer about their potential lifetime, about their risk and their revenue and all of that, right? So we invested years and years of time on that. And it is so satisfying and delightful to win that particular award and not something else award, right? And the third reason is, it's how the award is actually selected, right? It is leaders like you, VPs of customer experience, chief operating officers, chief marketing officers. It's a panel of 50 selected professionals throughout the country that evaluated this application about how we are creating impact with our AI and many other applications that were submitted throughout the country. And 50 of the leaders like you who are dealing with operations, who are hearing all the stories about AI, there are many, many use cases, right? And they felt this has to be the best use of AI in driving the most impact. So absolutely thankful for all the judges in taking the time to read the story and giving us the gold award. So absolutely proud of this particular award. So I want to use this opportunity to thank all of our customers, all our 100+ team members winning this award. This is for all our customers and this is for all our team members. And our promise back to every single customer and prospect is we're already operating with an advantage of 10+ years of 100 team members kind of perfecting this AI for subscription businesses. And we're already sitting on that advantage. And our promise is this is going to become stronger and stronger. It's just because it's a software that already has an advantage, right? So it's a special day for us. And we will go deep into use case for how we can use this technology to drive value for your subscription business. Brandon?
So thank you for your acceptance speech, Vasu.
It's a joy. Yeah.
So as I kind of now position ourselves for the rest of our webinar and how artificial intelligence can really make a significant impact, you see lots of tools that are already out on the market that are leveraging artificial intelligence to cut costs, to be able to replace people in various ways. The reason why ours is very different, if our solution right now focuses on companies that have tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands of customers, and they're at a larger scale. But if you rewind the clock back to when you had a small company and you only had a couple hundred customers, and you had that one really skilled office manager that was taking the phone calls from the customers and knew every single customer by name, that knew how long they'd been with the company, that knew every service call or interaction that you've had, you could ask that particular employee, hey, what does this customer need to be happy? You feel like they're happy? And if not, what could we do to make them happy? And that office manager would know. They would know exactly all the situation, every interaction, and would be able to guess why I think that customer is probably not the happiest right now and what we could do to keep them happy. The problem is, as you scale, it's harder to be able to do that as you go to 5 customer care agents, to 50 customer care agents, to 500 customer care agents. And our solution uses artificial intelligence to play that role, to be able to understand all the different interactions that are happening with each of your customers, to be able to understand which of them are at risk of canceling because they're not happy, and to understand why they're not happy, and then to propose, here's what we can do about it. That personalization is key. Mark Singer at McKinsey said companies that excel at personalization generate 40% more revenue than average players. And this is why our solution allows you to use AI to really make an impact, not just dropping a few headcount, but to actually see millions and millions of dollars of customer lifetime value generating. So with that foundation, I'll turn the time over to Vasu.
All right, let me share my screen. You should be able to see my full screen, Brenda.
Indeed.
Okay. Okay. All right. So thank you for the background, Brandon. I think the quote from McKinsey is key, right? If we can personalize, deeply understand every single customer, and stay away from all these general purpose, Christmas offer and July 4th offer and things like that, right? Because every customer is different and their needs are different. We can achieve significant value, and AI is coming to the rescue and is helping, right? So what I want to do, let's say in the next 10 minutes, is I'll split this into 2 parts. I'll review a couple of slides, and then we'll spend 5 minutes on a demo. And then we would love to do the demo in person for you if this is relevant for you, right? So what I have here is we have been meeting with a lot of subscription business leaders like you, right? In particular, home services, subscription businesses, right? So pest control, home security, telecom, HVAC, lawn care, home warranty, many of these types of verticals. And we deeply understand the questions that are coming over and over, because this is what we are showing on the screen is what we are hearing. Sometimes the questions are all about data. Do we have enough data? How do we plug the data gaps that we have? Our data is kind of stored in some sort of marketing system, CRM system, and some of these homegrown systems that you may have, and some survey satisfaction systems, billing systems, all of this. There's a ton of data, but they're struggling to stitch all of that together, right? So that's a dominant theme that we have. And then, of course, everyone is focused, especially with costs increasing, inflation, so on and so forth, right? How do we understand high potential, high lifetime value potential subscribers so we can acquire more of them, retain more of them, and price manage and optimize or upgrade more of them to support this getting customers, keeping customers, growing customers scenarios, right? And in particular about this particular today's webinar, the key question that we keep hearing is, how do we create actionable risk predictions using first-party data, meaning your internal data, and potentially third-party data, right? Homes and neighborhoods and all other third-party data sources that could also help, like a FICO score, for example, right? So they're asking these questions, can we stitch all of this together and put it to good use, right? Of course, we have a strong opinion on that, but these are the questions that are in our customer's mind, our prospect's mind, and probably, you are most likely thinking about these questions if you are a retention leader for your business, right? So, and then how to operationalize, right? How to create targeted offers. How do we kind of understand the sensitivity, price sensitivity of a particular customer and not randomly increase the prices and trigger attrition? Or how do we get proactive, before they start talking with, some of our competitors, right? So, and we can address their needs. So things like these, right? And then how do you do this in a fully automated way and at a bigger scale way, right? So these are the questions. So what I want to do in the next couple of slides is show a couple of slides and then immediately spend a few minutes on the demo and then also spend a few minutes on a couple of case studies, right? So these are questions that are probably in your head also, right? Now, as a response to that, what we created is, first of all, a data framework, right? So bringing your data and organizing all of that data into what we call customer profiles, right? Using, payment history, service history, call history, contract history, plans, and, tenures, and so on and so forth, right? All of that in a secure cloud environment with all the pre-built data features, right? So that's the first layer that we built. So you don't have to worry about deploying machines. You don't have to deploy about data wrangling. We have done all of that. And it's easy for us to deploy that same thing for you. Then we did these 5 things that you're seeing in the middle. We won't go into the details. We can certainly do a one-on-one call and explain all the details and the technology behind this. But at a high level, right, the first step is pre-built feature engineering, right? So we clearly know exactly like, you have probably seen some examples of 800 FICO score customer and 600 FICO score customer, they behave differently. And we have hundreds of such features that are fed to AI that are distinguishing every customer differently, right? So an example would be if someone is paying through a credit card or someone is paying through a bank account, we know the lifetime value difference. If someone is calling 5 times or not calling at all, we know the lifetime value difference. If someone had a price increase 6 months ago, never called you, but had a price increase and challenged that price increase and call you and maybe even threatened to call you, we know who those are and we know how many other customers would respond in an adverse way if we do those types of actions, right? So all of these and hundreds of those types of features have been pre-built, right? And converted into the second box, which is AI models, right? So we'll go a little deeper into these AI models in a minute, but these models are supporting all your use cases. And this is where we precisely go to customer level, right? These are customer level scores and not cohort level scores, right? So once we have that, we segment customers. So now the task is easier. This is likely cancel. This is likely adverse reaction to a price upgrade. This is likely to accept a renewal offer or a upgrade offer or a additional service offer, right? Who are those customers that can take these things in a meaningful way, right? Because the models are learning from other customers who are accepting these and finding similar customers. So we put all of them into micro segments, define offers that are in line with your business policies, and the last box is demonstrate how value is created on the scale of millions of dollars, right? So all those things are foundational pieces. And I want to say all of this is already running in the cloud with kind of specific use cases around managing subscription lifetime value, right? So all of this fits nicely on the left side. Data is coming from your sources, and after all these analytics, data is going back into all your channels. So now imagine your call center, your website, your mobile app, your field technicians, all of them get customer level risk and revenue opportunities, so you can maximize those opportunities, and that is what is leading to awards like these, right? So that's the kind of platform that we created. Now I'll just zoom into the kind of most important thing that we are able to bring to complement your data sources, which is VOZIQ is already plugged into homes and neighborhoods. So this is important for home services businesses, right? So just by knowing that we are in the middle of, Oklahoma versus middle of, let's say, New York, we already know the, affordability levels and needs and, busy lifestyles and all these things for these um, different segments of customers based on where they live, right? So because their income levels are different, their demographics are different, their affordability is different, all of that. So we have mastered that for the entire country, right? Then the moment we know which home is getting your service, we have already mastered all of that. It's $1 million home sitting in a 1 acre lot versus a smaller townhome. Maybe with less affordability. Maybe that's a younger family, right? So we have mastered all those things. Actually, one of the data features that I mentioned earlier, it's a 1 bedroom home or a 5 bedroom home. We know the lifetime value differences, right? So all these things are already done, so you don't have to do that, right? And then finally, if we know the details of that particular account, like payments and usage and contract and service and, how long they have been with you, right? All that, it just gives, extra juice to all the data that you have in-house with all the complementary data that we are bringing. And that's how we are able to reduce the time to value and give you the quickest value for implementing AI and realizing millions of dollars in value, right? So how that looks like is what we are providing is 10 plus predictive models that you see on the right side: customer lifetime value model, churn model, price increase model, NPS model, before they answer a satisfaction survey, right? We give you all these models: offer optimization, sales retargeting, all these things. Today, we're going to be focusing on churn, but regardless of which model we are going to be talking about, all the internal data sources, your billing history, your service history, including your call center notes. Someone called and complained. Someone called and complained that the technician didn't do a good enough job, right? So that is going to stay in the customer mind for a while. So we know how to respond in those windows of time, whether it is an email that you are sending or the next service that you are sending or a call that you are receiving. Our models help you in kind of responding appropriately to each of these customers, depending on the stage of this customer. And then we also talked about this external data, right? So that combination is the secret sauce for us, right? So with that as the foundation, let me switch into the application. So this is running in the cloud. It's a demo application, right? So first we are plugged into, the moment we have your service data, we're plugging into each of these homes. And I'll highlight a couple of data points. So what the model is saying is this customer is identified to attrit with 80% predicted attrition in the next 1 year. And as a result, our CLV, remaining customer lifetime value, for this particular customer is only $300. And it gives a lot of different reasons. We'll go into that in a bit. But the next customer, instead of 80% attrition, was flagged with 23% attrition, right? And that attrition is lower, and we are flagging that as a low-risk customer with a lifetime value of $1,000, right? These numbers could be dramatically different for your business, but the point is, it's not just assigning an attrition number, but immediately translating, hey, it's a $300 versus $1,000. Good news here is this $300 customer is not yet lost, right? We have an opportunity to turn this $300 customer into a $1,000 customer or even more, right? So that's the beauty of all these predictions before it is too late, right? So how do we turn this and how do we operationalize this, which is what the bankers are complimenting us for how we operationalize, which is take all these predictions. In this case, this turns out to be a pest control demo example. So we are actually bringing the pests that are kind of bothering your customers in that area, and we can do the same thing for other businesses. What are the common topics that are coming from that particular area or for that particular customer? We're giving some insights, year built and lot size and so on and so forth on top of the risk score. So your call center agents can speak to every customer differently. Then the next thing we give is what we call health indicators that explain why the risk is there. In this case, this customer is paying a little bit above average price. they're out of contract. That means they're open to competition. And they live in a particular area that has higher attrition, right? So we will customize all these things to your business needs, but they will give insights into why someone is high risk or low risk and all of that. But the machines are also reading all of this. So immediately they translate and recommend, exactly like YouTube recommendations, Netflix recommendations. For a customer with this type of profile, the AI is now recommending 3 different actions, right? The first one is, lock the price with 12-month renewal, right? If you offer renewals and things like that. Let's say if the customer is accepting, declining that particular offer, then the next offer is, let's reduce the price by $10 because the customer is anyway paying above average price, right? And secure a little longer renewal, right? So let's say if the customer is accepting, now the agent is completing, it's renewed and there is no risk of canceling, and you submit that, right? So your team members are constantly doing this. The same offers can be displayed on your website for your customers to select, right? So on and so forth, right? But all of this is scored at the customer level, not just predicting, what is likely to happen, but also prescribing what needs to be done. These are simple standard offers, but we work with you to define hundreds of these offers and then match, which offer is the best offer for each of your, let's say, 100,000 customers, 500,000 customers you may have, right? That's how the solution works. I just want to highlight one quick thing at a high level, right? If we zoom out, how all of this translates into millions of dollars in value, right? So here, we're taking an example of 100,000 customers. Let's say each customer is paying $600, or if you have 4 services in a year, $150 per service, that's $600, right? So with a 50% estimated attrition, now what our solution is immediately flagging is, hey, by the way, not every 100,000 customer is equal. Some of these are very, very high risk, or in this case, 76% attrition predicted, and another 1/3 of them is only predicted to cancel at 22% attrition, right? So it kind of groups customers into high risk and low risk, and immediately organizes them into these 320 customers, who are out of contract on a basic package. These 320 are predicted to cancel at 86%. This, let's say, 490 customers who are out of contract also on an advanced package are predicted to cancel not at 86, but at 40%, right? So it's going to identify, the packages, price plans, annual contract values, all of them, and nicely organizes them into a matrix. So now we can decide, like, the basic plan customer can get this, an out of contract customer can get this, a high paying customer can get this, right? So you have targeted offers for each of them, and how it looks like, because we can organize all of this by your branches and neighborhoods also, is at a high level, we can zoom into every different branch or operational area that you have and score each of those branches with predictions, right? And then zoom into zip codes, identify which zip codes have, higher attritions and which zip codes have lower attritions. And then my favorite thing here is even go down to the street level to an individual home and say, this home has predicted attrition of 21%, this home has 7%, but this home just, down the street has 76%, right? Operational leaders love this type of insight because this is at the home level that can be used for call center, field operations, websites, so on and so forth, right? So that's kind of how the granularity works, using all your internal data, all the third-party data that we can bring to a solution that is already running in the cloud. And that is precisely what we have been doing. So now, what impact did this generate, right? So let's go into some case studies. Let me see if I can. Yeah, some case studies. So I have one example, top 5 pest control company, or top 6, I believe, 500+ million revenue. They have, more than 700,000 subscribers getting these services. So when they came to us, same discussions, right? Is our data ready for this type of insight and operations? And we took all their, service history. Someone went into the home, someone serviced outside the home, appointment, last appointment time, how long the technician spent time there. We used all of that, call center notes, these customers called, these customers didn't call. We also integrated their satisfaction surveys, technician surveys, and more importantly, even a little bit of acquisition history. This customer was acquired through door-to-door channel. This customer was acquired through, website lead or a partnership lead or, whatever. So we know what data discussions we need to have. So we quickly helped them in stitching all of this data together and pushing it into our cloud, which we can help. We don't really require a lot of your IT time investment or data BI team time investment. That is what we did. The results are amazing, right? We were able to drop their attrition by 12% within 18 months and generated $30 million of incremental lifetime value increase, which is essentially goes back into enterprise value. PE companies love it. Your investors love it, right? And the kicker here is look at this NPS score. After all these proactive operations, right? Because we are responding before the customer calls to complain, before the customer calls to cancel all of this, we were able to spot these issues at the customer level and develop a preventative positive action. Sometimes it is enrolling in an auto pay. Sometimes it is giving a little bit of discount or actually locking the price. Sometimes it is upgrading at 50% off, right? So we have all these offers that we can customize for you based on your business policies, but that translated into $30 million. The interesting thing is we also did a follow-up satisfaction survey asking how satisfied are you and would you refer your friend or family. Amazing NPS, Net Promoter Score, 56, which is one of the top 10 or 20% in the entire country, right? So not just proving the metrics, but also measuring how satisfied are your customers with solutions like this. So it's a win for the customer, it's a win for the business, and it's a win for all your field technicians and call center technicians. They love it because they like to offer solutions to your customers proactively where they can. And all of this AI is helping in achieving all of that, right? I have one more case study. What we are saying here is this is not generalized to any one particular industry. Of course, we can fine tune for your industry and your specific business by training the models based on your internal data. But what we mastered here is unit economics, right? So how does the survival curve look like? How does the discounted cash flow calculation look like? How does the profitability look like? And Sawa, CFO of Brinks Home, who was on a webinar after implementing this solution and delivering $100 million in lifetime value increase for this particular company, had to say this. VOZIQ AI exemplifies how data-driven decisions can lead to better outcomes. The AI platform's ability to forecast at a granular level, right, helps us scale to an NPV of 10 million or lifetime value of $100+ million, right? We love hearing quotes like these. And before I pass it back to Brandon, I want to remind everyone about a new, in celebration of this award, we are celebrating a new series called AI Masterminds. Because we consider all our customers as AI masterminds. We're launching a series of all these webinars with our customers, sharing their success stories, reminding everyone how we are not just implementing, but winning these impact awards and things like that. We would love to see you as one of the future AI masterminds in one of our webinars. With that, Brandon, I will pass it back to you.
Terrific. Thank you, Vasu. What you should be able to see here is that artificial intelligence can help fill that gap. It can play the role of that seasoned operations manager or office manager in being able to sift through the data to be able to understand what each of your customers is experiencing, what the likelihood is of them wanting to cancel, why they're wanting to cancel, and what you can do today to proactively keep them from canceling 6 months, 9 months, 12 months from now. If we've made the argument and you are interested in learning more and would like to get started to see what the actual business use case would be for your business and how much customer lifetime value we forecast we'd be able to help you generate, these are the steps. What we would do is we would love the opportunity to be able to work with you and do a complimentary production trial at no cost in terms of software. What we would do is come in during the first month. We would work with you and your data team to be able to gather that data, to put that onto a private cloud. And then at the end of that first month, we would have run our models on your data and be able to show you what the likely results would be to calculate a business case that you can look at with your executive team and with your board of directors and investors. And then we'll give you 2 months to actually use that data and that intelligence that's coming from that data to go out and proactively save some of your customers and to begin to see those results as a result of what we've shared with you. The only cost would be the server time for the server. We would waive our software as a service fees. We would waive our consulting and advisory fees. We've currently got a handful of prospects that are in this process right now, and they are always excited when they see what we share with them at the executive readout, and to be able to see the opportunity for them to be able to increase their customer lifetime value and therefore their enterprise value by harnessing and leveraging AI. In addition, for joining us on this webinar today, we would, if you then just made the decision after the end of the production trial to be partners with us, we would be willing to extend this offer so that during the first year, you would get 50% off the software during that time. Feel free to reach out to us if you have any questions or if you'd be interested in setting up a production trial. You can reach us at info@voziq.ai. You can reach me directly at bsavage@voziq.ai. We're excited to be able to show you how you can harness artificial intelligence and machine learning to be able to reduce your customer churn, to maximize your customer lifetime value, and to be able to drive profitable growth within your organization. Thanks for joining us today.